A former British member of the Islamic State terror group has been sentenced to life in prison by a court in America. Shafee Elsheikh was among a group of British IS members who carried out a brutal reign of terror in Syria and became known as the Beatles because of their English accents, a name given to them by their captives. The judge said Elsheikh's actions were horrific, barbaric and brutal. Our correspondent Nomia Iqbal has sent us this report from the courthouse in Virginia.
Asked me to
Shafee Elsheikh claimed he was a simple IS fighter who wanted to help, but it wasn't true. He was part of the Islamic State group, which terrorised large swathes of Iraq and Syria between 2014 and 2017. Beatings, electrocutions and mock executions were carried out by the jihadists on Western hostages, who call their torturers the Beatles due to their English accents. Elsheikh, who left London to join IS, was convicted of his part in a hostage murder plot in which 4 Americans were killed: James Foley, Stephen Sotloff, Peter Kassig and Kayla Mueller, as well as 2 British aid workers, Alan Henning and David Haynes. The judge described what Shafee Elsheikh did as horrific, brutal, barbaric, callous and criminal. He said the sentence had to act as a deterrent. Shafee Elsheikh refused to comment when given the opportunity. None of the victims' bodies have ever been found. Outside court, the families gathered. Diane Foley's son James died 8 years ago today.
It is a hollow victory. Our country has lost 4 of its very best citizens. We families lost our loved ones forever. And now Elsheikh and Cody, who have lost their freedom, country, and families. It's a tragic cycle of violence and heartbreak for all involved.
Elsheikh's co-conspirator, Alexander Coty, already pleaded guilty and will serve the rest of his life in jail. As part of his plea deal, he met some victims' relatives, including the family of Kayla Mueller, who was raped and tortured by the leader of IS. He was eventually killed in a US raid.
Well, I did meet with Cody for about 2.5 hours, so I spoke to him at length, and I would meet him again and hope to. Elsheikh doesn't have to meet with us. If he would, I would want him to. But my prayer all along in all of this was I've asked God to soften any hearts out there that know anything about any of this that would come forward and help us. And we are getting people helping us.
Another member of this group, Mohammed Emwazi, known in the press as Jihadi John, is dead. Elsheikh and Coty were eventually captured in Syria as IS were defeated. The group hated the Western world, particularly America. But these 2 men now face spending the rest of their lives in a US jail. Nomia Iqbal, BBC News, Virginia.